Got it.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Avini Vibes. Very thankful that you took the time tonight to join us and be here. We want to say hello to our friends and, of course, our guests. And whoever, if you're a guest, I want to say someone really cared enough about you to invite you to a very, very special place. I want to thank Carol Witt always for being the tech support here. Carol's not going to be on camera tonight. She's got something happening, but she's always there. Whether her smiley face isn't here, she's right there in the background with us always. And Dr. Nikita, I'm pretty sure she'll be in the house with us, and Chip Littlejohn always with us to support this call. Please remember that we don't make any medical claims, we don't diagnose, and we don't treat. But we do come here to Avini Vibes each week to support one another and share about the most amazing company, the most amazing products. And I always say that Avini attracts really, really smart people. So you're really smart that you took time tonight to be with us on August 21st, 2025. So, one thing about this business, real quick, I want to share. I'm up here with my dear friend and one of my distributors. Say hi, Nella. Nella,
Hi, hello
here she is.
everybody.
Nella and I are on a
I'm
road trip. We're up visiting Stonington, Connecticut. We were at, on the beautiful, beautiful coast of Stonington, and we're off to Newport, Rhode Island tomorrow. And what's really cool about this business, you can do it anywhere. You can do it from your car. You can do it from, as Chip does it, from a tree, from a lake house, doesn't matter. And tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way to, we have a distributor all the way from Poland with us tonight. So you can see we're really on the verge of just, going worldwide, which is such a blessing. But again, reminder, no medical claims. We don't diagnose or treat, but we're here to learn, listen, and share with one another. It's what a great opportunity y'all had. Many of you were at the summit. Thumbs up if you were at the summit. Let me see, lots of thumbs up. And if you weren't, that's okay, because you're going to hear a little bit tonight. We have a very, very special guest. I had the opportunity to be a SEAL Team 7 for MST program with this man, Joe. Uh, Joe, I always tongue tie on your last names, and I practice, and I always do that, when I have to introduce you, because I just call him Joe from Big Gulp, the inventor of Big Gulp. Joe is an executive and a marketing expert. There he is, a marketing expert with 7-Eleven, and many when I have questions about the comp plan or numbers, percentages, or growth, he's the man I call. When I have a hard presentation on numbers, the money, any of that, I just called Joe, and he's going to share some of that expertise with you tonight. So with that, I'll just kind of be quiet a minute. And Joe, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us all the way from the
Thank
West
you.
Coast.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Christine. Appreciate the compliments. The convention was unquestionably the best one we've ever had. And I'll tell you why, and it's going to be how I do the presentation tonight. We have to interweave the business. We have been building our product stories. We've been having phenomenal success with our product, and we continue because the product is our core. But the business aspect of it, we're on a start of things that most of you have never experienced. And what I'm going to do tonight is talk about the products, very, very light. And what I'm going to urge you to do, if you didn't have a chance to hear Rick, his whole presentation is on the Avini Vibes worksheet. Excuse me, not the home worksheet, and you can listen to the entire thing. But I took away several things from it. And so I'm going to go through it, give you a highlight of it. And then what I'm going to go through is what Kyle presented, which talks a little bit about the compensation plan. Then I'm going to end up with a perspective that I have that I want you guys to hear. So let's say I'm already the host, so I should be able to just do this share right now. First off, the Avini Health product philosophy. Rick starts out with this, and it is so important for us to realize that we're not a Me Too company. He keeps looking for and inventing and or improving unique products. They're products that only have the highest quality ingredients, and he puts them together in a proprietary process in a vertically integrated system. And for those of you who are not technically oriented in terms of manufacturing, vertically integrated means that as soon as he picks up the raw ingredients that we go ahead and test again to make sure they're up to our quality standard, nobody else touches it all the way to the fact when you open the door. It's all handled by the Avini staff, from the mixing the ingredients to putting in the tubes into the bottles, and then it ultimately comes out and you have it at your door, completely done. We're also looking at products that everyone needs, everyone wants, and this is the only place you're going to be able to get them. So I want to do some highlights on what the products were talked about this time. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about is Zumuni mushrooms. Now
Joe,
we
excuse
know,
me, we can't see your screen.
can't see the screen. I thought
No.
I hit share button. Sorry about that. Let me find out what went wrong. Okay. So we'll go here and we'll put share. Okay. Let's not, I put up here and I go share, share. And are you seeing my screen as of yet? No?
No.
No, we're not.
Okay, let me get back to that and go share one more time. I'm putting share and go share. Now are you seeing my screen?
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Let me see if I can help out here at all.
Okay, so Joe, this is
Yes.
Carol. And what
Yep.
you need to do is when you do a screen share, you have to make sure that it's already open on your tab on your browser, so it goes right to that place to share.
Okay. It is
Oh.
open now. Now can you see it?
No.
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 Somebody is saying that they see it perfectly.
Yeah, Laura's saying that, but we don't see it.
I'm not seeing it and I would be seeing it. So, okay, when you hit share, are
Yes.
you getting a prompt to choose your browser?
Um, I am, let me get back to that. I hate
You're
to be
not,
doing this.
it's not even showing up like you're trying to screen share, and that's what I'm trying to figure out why. I've given you permission, so you should be able to do it.
Okay.
But it's not showing up on my screen like you are even trying to share your screen.
Okay. I just opened something on my browser,
Okay?
and are you seeing it?
No.
No.
That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
All right. So option is it possible just shoot them to Carol in that email? And Carol, can you open them?
I've got it, I've got the email, so hold on, let me go get it.
All right.
Okay. That was our fail safe. You always
Yep.
prepare.
Yep. Hold
Being a
on
Boy
one
Scout,
second.
See, I told you running the slides, running all of that's not always easy, right?
easy. And I actually practiced ahead of time, and it pulled up on my screen when I was doing it.
It's okay. It happens. So
Okay, I'm
go ahead.
going to be pulling it up. Hold on one second. Joe, I found your slides. Okay, so hold on, let me open them up because
Okay.
they have to be open before and so the first one is the one you want me to show? Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, they're
Okay,
all in numerical order.
okay, so hold on. They're all in order, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so hold on. I'm coming back and I'm going to screen share with everyone. One second. Okay, tell me when you can see my screen. Here we go. Can you see my screen, Joe?
I see it. Curve of prosperity.
Okay. Is this the one you want to show first?
No, I want to show the Invini convention or
Products.
Invini conference.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me go back.
All right. Like Carol's doing that. Here we go. We're going to grab this email and
Okay, so hold on. I am seeing the Avini.
no, it's in the other email, Carol.
Oh, it's
First
in the
one.
other email. All right, hold on one
First one.
second.
But while you're
Oh,
while you're
you
doing
sent
that,
me two. You sent me two
uh,
emails. Okay, I got it. Hold on.
all right.
I'll fill in the blanks as Carol's getting it up on the screen.
Here we
All right.
go.
Here we
And
go.
is it this one, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Avini conference products. Oh, it says 3.
Okay.
Here's products 1. Is that the one you want?
Yes, put that one up.
Okay, Joe. Here we go.
All right. There we
There we
go.
go.
Okay. You can see it.
Now, all right. Good. Everybody can see it.
Yes.
and that's what I was speaking to, and I don't want to spend too much time going back over it. But Rick and Neil's plan is for us to have unique products and highest quality through our vertically integrated distribution program, which means nobody touches the products after we get the raw material, and ultimately it comes out the door, and it's products that are desired and needed by everybody. So if you go to the next one, Carol, which is
Okay, here we go.
okay. So we're going to talk about Zimmunity, and Zimmunity is a product that we all know and love. And one of the things that was happening with this immunity, and this is reports coming in, anecdotal reports, that people were seeing a mood elevation. They were feeling better when they were taking immunity. Now, inside the mushrooms that Rick has put together in a package for it, there's the possibility that could happen. And it was happening. But the challenge is without being able to have an ingredient in there that's tied to a result, we can't make anything on our label that says that. So what Rick looked into, and which is the next slide, Carol,
Okay.
which is that should be saffron.
Is that correct?
Well, this one's okay because it's the immunity mushrooms and all the things that are in it. And so then let's go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And what he found was a company that had a concentrated saffron product. And saffron for years, medicine by the medical, natural medicine people, has been helping with people with moods. And so it has been clinically proven to improve a person's mood. So he looked at that particular product, and our desire is always to give us the absolute best products. Now, the challenge being is that the best products sometimes cost a lot, and saffron, which is the genesis of this particular product, is one of the most expensive ingredients in the world. See that little flower down in the corner there, and that little bloom? It takes 75,000 of those blooms to come up with a kilogram of the saffron. So Rick realized we had to have the best. And so when Rick was talking about it at the convention, which he'll fill in a lot more blanks than I can, because I'm not a scientific person, the result is we're now seeing dramatic impact on people's moods. So Carol, could you go to the next slide, please?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Joe, I'm at the end, so I must be the next email. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay, so is this the next one? Hold on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so in the order, we do have a new product. And the new product, looking at what everyone needs, looking at what our distributorship needs, is as people get older, they begin to have arthritic problems, they begin to have joint problems, begin to have pain problems. And as we all know, the aspect of using meds, can help. But on the flip side of that, some people would like a natural alternative. So how can we help each other? Well, Rick came up with the fact that arthritis, is dealing with cartilage loss, and what happens as we get older, we begin to not replace our cartilage, and ultimately leading to problems. And one of the things that he shared with us that I think will stick in everybody's mind is a specific word. And if you remember this word, then it will trigger a whole bunch of things in your mind so that you can be understanding where we want to go. So Carol, could you go to the next slide, please?
Mm-hmm.
The word of the day is crepitus. That's either a Greek god that Chip was able to find, or it is the popping noise that we make when our joints pop when we bend over. And that's because of the air inside our joints and not having as much lubricant, which is the things that are most important for our joints. So remember crepitus when you think about joint pops, and remember this product, because what Rick has done, next slide, Carol, he's put together a product called Plus Motion. And once again, all of this is in depth on the actual website. But this particular product, we're already having phenomenal results where people had a pain in their back. They woke up the next morning without a pain. People had a joint issue. and they're seeing very, very immediate results. This is something that Rick has been studying for quite a few years, and consequently, he knows what it takes to put the right ingredients into our products, and correspondingly, we've come out with another winner. Another winner in the point that I'd like to make for everyone to see is when there is a comment that's made by Rick or made by Neil about lead products. Most network marketing companies come out with one product. When they come out with one product, that is what they build everything around. And most of the other products are lesser products. We right now have two other products that built companies unequivocally, and we have three more that could launch a company because that's how strong and powerful we are in terms of our product line. And this Plus Motion is a product that Neil and Rick feel that could be a lead product for Avini and also a lead product for anybody who was smart enough to put it together. But the only person smart enough to put it together is Rick. And we have it. And it's doing great things. So I urge you to, Rick put together a half-hour presentation that goes through all the slides. But I want you to see the highlights of it so that you can understand, where we're going. Now, interspersed between the actual presentations on product, we began to talk about business. And why we want to talk about business is because our mission is to get our life moving and life helping products out to as many people as possible. So I want to share with you a couple things on that. And then I want to wrap up with my perspective on it. So Carol, I'd like you to go to the slide that says Avini Comp Plan Kyle.
Okay, hold on. I do know where that is. Let's see. Where did I see it? Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay. The Avini comp plan, is that correct?
Yeah, Comp Plan Kyle.
Okay, here we go.
So what Kyle presented on the stage is something that all of us need to know so that we're able of telling people and training people on how to do the program. And so we get paid 5 different ways. And correspondingly, if you know how the ways work, you can then focus on what you want to have within your business. And Kyle just absolutely nailed it. So I'm going to do what I believe is a poor imitation of him, but it's still going to be something I think is very wise for you to see. First off, how do we make money? If we sell a product to somebody at retail, what do? We make 20%. Unlike most companies, we make that 20% the next Thursday. The second thing that we can make money on is sponsoring somebody. So if you bring somebody into the business at $4.99, $9.99, I got a little bit of an echo in the
Yeah, hold on. Somebody has come in. Okay, you're okay. Go ahead.
And so we make the commission on sponsoring that person. And that's again paid the next Thursday. When I speak to the overall perspective that we saw in the conference by another distributor, and I'll get with that in a second, we have the ability to make both of those without doing any business. Unlike many companies require you to have a minimum volume to make the commissions. They have to have many, many, many different things. And that's one of the frustrations of people with network marketing. We do not have that requirement. The third way is to build a team. So we build a team by sponsoring 3 people. I want you to remember the 3 people because when I come into the presentation on my perspective on what I see, that's going to become very key to you. When you sponsor 3 people, then you begin to create an organization underneath you, and you begin to create volume. And volume creates check. And so if there is a specific amount of volume you do, allocate it in the way that the company has set up the allocation, you will get a check. You have to do a couple things yourself. Number 1, you have to be personally active, which means you have to have 100 points in volume. Number 2, you have to have a customer. And number 3, you have to have 2 legs active. This particular part is purposely skewed to deliver more money per activity in the lower quadrants of the sapphire, excuse me, in the silver position. Why did Kyle, when he was writing it and working with Neil about doing it, is the goal was to get people's money back. If you can get people who value the product, when they can also make enough money to consume the product that they value, especially if they're on their tight budget, how many of you think they're going to go away? They don't. So the value of that particular silver category is designed to cover that. When we get into the higher levels, they're a little bit more involved. But the understanding is you start everyone off at silver and you begin this duplication process. The next slide, Carol, I'd like you to put up is the Avini convention.
No, hold on.
You got the right one up.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Okay. This was Paul Stowers, and so I copied what he said. And what he said, simply put, is why he likes the program
sorry.
that we have.
It went away. Sorry. Let me put you back up there. There you go.
So these slides and things will be available to you afterwards. But every point that has been a gotcha about network marketing, Neil and Kyle and Mickey have addressed. They've looked at it and said, what's the issue? Why do I like it? You like it for all those particular reasons. And if you're speaking to somebody who has been in the network industry, they have hiccuped or they have tripped up on every one of these things. And so when you're looking at potentially prospecting a networker, Paul's message was to share this with them. Because when you share it with them, you're going to answer a lot of questions. And that's why persons who have seen what we have in front of us have joined Avini and are having success. So this is a key thing for you to look at. There's another one, Carol.
Okay.
Which is, it should be the Avini monthly.
Okay, hold
on. This one's the point.
This is not it, correct?
Yeah, not yet.
Okay, hold on. Let me, Avini monthly. Here you go.
Okay. There we go. So what I developed, because people always want to ask questions. So what if this, or what if that, or what if this, what if that? So I put together a takeaway for you that answers most of, if not all of the questions on where you could hiccup on the comp plan.
Wow.
And I want to share that with everybody because it shows that if you do this, you get that. If you don't do this, you're not going to get that. If you do this, you're going to get that. If you're not doing this, you'll get that. So each one of these points, gives you a fuller perspective on the overview that I just gave you that Kyle put together on the 5 different ways that we get paid. One of the important ways that we get paid that he drilled on, which is one that, I'll drill also, is this compensation plan is set up in a manner that, number one, you get rewarded all the time when you move up, and who doesn't like a raise? And the other thing that it does is when you begin to create a business, which is at the Sapphire category, you get an extra 7% on anybody that you personally sponsored of what their check was that month. So what does that do? It drives correct behavior. And not only does it drive correct behavior for that person, but you get 5% on the person they sponsor. That's unheard of. That's unheard of to have that benefit of it. So as you look at the comp plan, and this one explains all the points of it, what each one of them is, and it takes more time for me to say it than for you to read it, but I do hope you have a chance to take a look at it and see, because it's an expansion.
This is awesome, Joe. Thank you.
Then what I'd like to close is the Avini growth pattern.
Okay, let me see if I can find it. Hold on.
Okay, this is a straight PowerPoint. So if you could open it up in
slides. Yeah, let me see if I can open this in slides. Hold on.
Okay. You need to go slideshow. Excuse me.
Okay, hold on. Sometimes, Joe, when you are screen sharing, these things don't come up. That's why you really want to have them up and ready before you screen share. Okay, go ahead. Is
Okay.
this what you wanted?
Yes, this is what I wanted. So if you tap on the enter, you should start showing an expose.
Okay.
There. So one of the things that you need to understand is the wheel is not new. The wheel has been reinvented before, and we're looking at what the wheel says and how it works. So I took some excerpts, and if you see the date on this thing, this is how ancient I am. This was something I was using in my presentations in the mid 90s with the Rexall company. And we are always told that facts tell and stories sell. And that's true. But when you have lived the facts, you have one heck of a story. And I've lived the facts. So is Neil. So is Rick. So is Kyle. So you got to understand how network marketing companies work. Stage one is they're formulating. That's when you first launch and if the pieces start being put together and the company starts to launch itself. As you can see, that's usually in the first 2 or 3 years. The next slide,
Okay. And the next slide.
yes,
Okay.
is what happens that is this is the concentration period of time. This is the period we're in right now. We're in a position where the comp plan's been tweaked, the leadership's put in place, the vertical integration has been put in place. So we're ready to go to the next step. And why I wanted to share this with you is because you've heard a lot of people saying that we're on the edge of momentum. We're on the edge of momentum. We're on the edge of tremendous growth. So I want you to know how that happens. So go to the next slide, Carol.
Okay.
So when everything in stage two has been done, then the company goes into the next stage, which is momentum, where then the company begins to have rapid growth, very, very rapid growth. And the rapid growth ultimately takes the company from the current 10 million a year to 20 million to 30 million and all the way up to the top. I have lived that. Mickey has lived it. Rick has lived that. And there's people on this call that may have lived it, but I have the facts that show how I lived it. So going to 4, this is the next step, Carol, is when a company has been successful, and there's certainly been a lot of successful companies, Amway, Melaleuca, et cetera, successful companies, but they begin to plateau. And the opportunity to have significant growth is not impossible, but it's going to be much harder. But the magic issue in this growth factor is you got to pick a company that can go on to long-term success. Because 96% of all network marketing companies and most businesses, for that fact, fail in the first 2 to 3 years. They're undercapitalized, they have bad management, they're not vertically integrated, and they don't have enough money. Thinking about everything that you've heard about Avini, we're going the next step. We're going up to the momentum step, and here's how we're going to get there. Next one, Carol. So our business model is you get 3. So when you get 3, and the first time you get 3, that means there's now 9 people in your group. But when those 9 people get 3, you now have 27 people in your group. When 27 people get 3, you now have 81 people in the group. When you have 81 people get 3, and so on. So when you see that number of 19,683, you're probably going to say to yourself, Joe, that's a perfect world. It's not going to happen. It's not. I'll guarantee it's not going to happen. But how much of it could happen? 10%? 5%? Let's be pessimistic because everyone is pessimistic until they have their eyes open. So go to the next slide, Carol. If it attains 1% of what I just projected, that comes out to you'll have 968 people in your business. Right now, The average consumer of Rexall, which is the distributors, is doing $180 in volume on their personal consumption. Do some math. That comes up to $354,000 worth of monthly volume. What does that mean? That means Neil will have to up the compensation plan because currently we peak out at a certain level. But as we grow, the companies influence their compensation plan. Now, how do I know this? How does Neil know this? So let's go to the next slide. I'm going to show you some magic. This is what you've heard been talked about. This is an actual slide I used when I did presentations for Rexall in the 90s. And what I would do, it was a reveal slide. And so the first time I was doing the presentation, it was when we were doing $10.4 million in annualized volume. And knowing this growth factor that I was explaining to you, I was then telling people in the hotel room that was our own anchor hotel room that we're probably going to do 20 to 22 million in volume. And the next year when the numbers came out, we did 20.5. And what do you think I told the people that next year? I told you we'd go up to here. I'm predicting we're probably going to go up to 30 plus the next year. And I did the same thing in the same room, all the way up to 200 million. But this slide is ancient history. And it was actually taken from a slide from my slide deck because we didn't have PowerPoint, and seeing where the growth gets very dramatic. So where are we? Where are we? Next slide, Carol. This is Avini's growth. This is what's known as the curve of prosperity. The curve of prosperity happens in regular business or in network marketing business. Every business starts off at zero, and then they begin a slow growth. But then they begin to turn the corner. And when they turn the corner, the growth becomes dramatic. There are people on this call that had more people at their weekly or monthly meetings in their home than we had in the convention. So you see that little dot? That's where we are. I've lived it. So facts tell, but the story of my facts is my reality. And I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share what I've experienced.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for sharing that. Your wisdom, your knowledge, and like you said, your experience are just really great that you're sharing this and things that you've lived. So we really, really appreciate that. Let's just take a peek and see if Howard is still on. Howard, Howard's been with us. Hey, Howard. Joe, thank you so much. That was great, Howard. We want to hear Howard Smith's perspective on his experience for a couple minutes, if you would. Howard, you were at the conference. What would you like to share with us?
I want to tell Joe that that is the most amazing information from the conference. Okay. Everything that he stated was at the conference, and he put it in a nutshell. I would like him to be on the Wednesday training for Marcy or whatever. That is awesome.
Thank you.
Wow. So let me tell you, the conference was wonderful. What you just shared was the meat. I mean, but we have been on a high because, we've gotten to know Rick for so long also. And, when you see how we call him Rickopedia, right?
Yes, indeed.
I mean, he is brilliant. So the conference next year will be that week of Valentine's, the weekend of Valentine's 2026. And 2 conferences before that will be Nashville. And then you'll get to go see the lab. We got to see it last November. We've already got our flight for Nashville, our flight for to get to Fort Lauderdale. And of course, I'm already setting up for being in Vegas. You will never be in another company like this. Never. Okay. The history of this company was created because of all the frustration of us. Probably Joe has seen this. Companies go, they get up, they go down. They get up to maybe 10,000 people or whatever in events. Then all of a sudden this disappears. They change the comp plan, you name it. And I told my wife, we can't miss this. We cannot miss this. We know everybody in most of our group for 20, 25 years, known Rick for about 19, got to spend his birthday when he was 40. I think he said he's now 57. Neil, I got to meet when he brought Rick's product to that other company. And I said, I'm only looking for the product. You have to have this product. And we luckily had enough stash so that we never kind of ran out of it. But I will tell you, we had to go through the challenges and the companies and whatever to be where we're at. So when Avini started, I said, yes. And for all of you that are listening to this, you need to say the same thing, because these products create miracles over and over. Let me tell you my latest miracle. I'm up in St. George. So we left the event. We're up here in St. George helping my son build a business up here. I have a grandson. He's not biological, but I've known him since he was 5. He's brilliant. He had an AA degree when he finished high school. He joined a credit union up here called Mountain America. At 22, he brought the lowest number, 105 credit union, to number 1. They were grooming him to be the youngest manager in the whole company. He got those bad cells in his brain. So he's a very private person. Luckily, his half sister spilled the beans, and I said, "What?" And we started pumping these products to him. He was given that expiration date. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you've got this much time. Now, luckily, he didn't buy into it. He's doing the chemo and whatever, but I put him on our products. I just talked to his mother the other day. I'm going to get with him hopefully in the next day. Most of what's going on is shrinking or gone, and he has no expiration. They've taken that date off. Who do you know that needs this information? Everybody. So I got to run back to MJ's call, but this was a blessing that I was late. I couldn't break away from our MJ group, and I got to hear you, Joe, as you started, and that was my blessing.
Thank you.
So please send me this recording, Christine, as quick as you can. This should explode that kind of information, even our business, faster.
Well, Howard, we're going to keep him in our prayers too, okay? And you and your family.
Absolutely. They're never out of the woods, but he's making such progress. I'm hoping to get him the lab in November. So take care. I got to run back.
Okay, back to MST. Say hi to MJ and the gang, okay? Thank you, Howard.
I will. You bet.
Thank you. I had the opportunity to talk to Howard for a good hour the other night, and boy, oh boy, he's a man too, like Joe, a man that's knows a lot about this type of business, and he's been around with Rick, like he said, for 17, 18 years with Chip Littlejohn, who we're going to have close us out at the end. But I would like to ask Shu to come on a moment. Shu, are you with us? Would you unmute and share a little bit of experience about the conference? What was your takeaway?
Oh my. The energy, I think. I've been to all the conferences, and I couldn't believe how people couldn't sit down. If you notice, an awful lot of people were standing an awful lot of the time down there, and it wasn't because their butt was sore. The energy in that room was phenomenal, and I had a great team there with me, and it was just so much fun to watch their energy and how they came out of there. And I've always said, and I've heard it before, maybe Chip said it, somebody said that when you join Avini, that's one thing. but then what happens is Avini gets into you. And that's what's happening to all of us. And it happens all like overnight on some of these miracles that Chip talks about and shares all the time. It's just one miracle after another. And I had one down there. The beds didn't fit me for some reason. That usually hasn't been a issue in the back, even though I've got degenerative and collapsed discs in the back and since the service. I've been able to deal with that, but that bed just did not do me any justice. And the second day I got up, well, I couldn't get up. I just kind of laid there. I said, boy, how am I going to get out of this? And so I finally kind of weaseled up and I got over to the couch and I'm looking down at the floor and there's my shoes and my socks. And I says, boy, I wonder if Neil would notice if I didn't wear socks today, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get them on. And so he never said a word. In fact, the day before he walked by me at breakfast and he says, smile. Boy, and I felt sad because I was hurting so bad. I'm sure it showed on my face. And the next day I went back to him. I says, okay, Neil, I'm smiling now, thanks to you and Rick, because whatever was in that stuff, my back is perfect this morning. Just overnight, that stuff. I hit it the minute it came out. I went, got my water bottle, opened those bottles up, and I hit it right away. And the following morning, I popped out of bed like there was no problem at all. And so that stuff is amazing. My daughter came to me yesterday with a sore elbow. She doesn't know what she did, but she's got a 2-year-old that she's got to pack around. And so she started her on the products. And I texted her a little bit ago before this call. And I says, how's the shoulder? She says, it's doing really good. And so I'm not the only one having these miracles and stuff. So it was phenomenal. I'm so blessed. I'm glad Howard came on and said that spiel, because it's how I feel too. And I don't know Joe. I've never met Joe. I've seen him before. It's a real honor to hear him tonight, and hope we can get closer, because the information he's got, I could use a little brainwashing and stuff. So thanks, Christine. I appreciate you letting me share. So that was awesome.
Thank you, Sue. It's always great to hear from you. Appreciate you. Shu's a man with a mission, and he's a real good example of what he does on a daily basis. Goes out to save a life, change a life, and share Avini with, just that's his passion, his heart. So thank you. All right, Chip Littlejohn, would you join us? And then Joe, you're going to go right after Chip with words of wisdom. And we want to hear Chip's words of wisdom. Chip Littlejohn.
I really want to ask Joe to highlight a point for me. Great presenter. I've gotten to see him since he first came here, and he came to us in kind of rough shape biologically. Most people know I'm a biology guy, and now he's in lots better shape. He's cruising the world and building a business and all these cool things. But I want to help him make a point, one more point. And I'm not sure, I might get the emphasis on the wrong syllable, whether it's Joe Gershaneck or Joe Gershaneck. But I think either one, how is it, Joe? Which is right?
Yeah, it's Gershaneck.
Gershaneck, okay, is correct. He is a national level corporate marketing guy. He hit it as big as you can hit it. Simple way of looking at Joe, you know him, but you don't know you know him. You know, you're here meeting him tonight, but every one of you I know knows what a big gulp is. And if you don't know what that is, you know what those little bitty coffee creamer cups are that you peel the top of and dump a bunch of them in your coffee. Both of those ideas are home run ideas from 7-Eleven, from the desk of Joe Gershaneck. And so, as you might expect, the way things are set up in companies, every time one of those is sold or used to this day, Joe Gershaneck gets a little bit of the income from that, right, Joe?
No, unfortunately, that's why I'm with network marketing, because there is no residuals for all the things I help create that are giving me a partial share of the, uh, you know, I'm driving a mind hiccup, the format, and your everything that you know on what you know. So
It's why somebody as bright as he is in marketing, and you just heard him present, obviously highly professional thinker, presenter, able to organize things into a graph so that everybody can see the curve of prosperity, or the hyperbolic hyperbolic healthcare curve that could be a t-shirt. You know, what he just put out there wouldn't make a bad t-shirt, I don't think. You know, the Avini t-shirt, here's the growth, and when he's able to go in year after year and say, okay, this is where we are, that's where we're going to be next year at this same meeting. You know, and prove it. You know, where do you find somebody like that? Well, as Christina said when she started, Avini comes from smart and it attracts smart. You know, Shoe that just smoked, one of the brightest guys in his field in the world, Christina and hers, Carol Witt and hers, and I'm sure probably throughout the group here would be that same way. And that, if I was going to choose one thing to highlight, because we got a little business twitch today, it would be that Joe didn't get treated fairly. Here he feels he does. Mm-hmm. You know, the industry has earned his talents to come to network marketing. The industry, the way, and especially Avini, the way it's set up, has earned the efforts, the friends, the contacts of Joe Gershaneck. And I hope you saw that tonight.
Thank you, Chip. Thank you for sharing that this evening. You kind of froze there, but I think you're muted, so I assume you're finished. But thank you, Chip, always for sharing. And you're right. And Joe, I would like to give you the opportunity to give our audience. There are some guests tonight, but there's something going on that's a promotion. You want to share that and then close us out, please?
Absolutely. As we discussed the model of getting 3 people and the commission structure that you get with 3 people to pay back your initial investment, Neil, in his wisdom, knew that he would be able to financially, securely, be able to double that, put 50% more of income on the table if somebody does 2 sponsors in a week, 2 activation packs. So we always were saying, you know, you do 3 people, you get your money back, and then you're dealing with in the black. With this particular promotion, if you get 2 people in a week, any week, you will make enough money to get your money back. That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. So if you're not familiar on all the nuances of that, and the nuances don't have gotchas, simply put, you need to do 2 people that get you an activation pack in 1 week. That's not a gotcha. And so I urge you to take a look at that. And then I also want to urge you to take a look at the overall aspect of what we're doing in the business in general. We are at a point. Then if you're flying a fighter and you see the fighter take off and then they go like that, we are at that point of going up like that. So I urge you, if you are looking at this thing and seeing that it would be something that would make sense to you, get with your sponsor, talk with them, understand some of the things that I put together for everybody, get all your questions answered, and then put things together. My wrap up is this. There's probably people in the room that were told about Apple and told about Microsoft when it was under $100 a share. And if we could turn back the hands of time and buy some shares in that, you put the math together because it compounded, it had splits, etc. And Microsoft and Apple went in the same vertical climb, just like we're doing. So if you see this, I urge you to take action. Get yourself involved. Look at what's the best choice for you. What we recommend is there's only 2 packs, the $4.99 pack and the $9.99 pack. The $2.99 pack doesn't give you the breadth of products. So look at the $4.99 pack. And the most important thing, which is unheard of in my career in the networking industry, that activation pack gives you the product at the lowest possible cost you could ever have. It's 20% below wholesale. So if you have somebody that's going to be a reseller a naturopath, a massage therapist, et cetera, their number is $9.99 because they're going to be able to have a greater spread due to the fact that the product's 20% below wholesale. I look forward to seeing you all somewhere on most of the Avini vines, unless I'm out of the country. And I'm not a good person to get up at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was going to do one there, but I decided not to. But this is it, folks. This is the real gig. And I'm turning it back to Carol.
Thank you so much, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks for being with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. I just want to let you know that on line 113 of Avini Health Training, that's where you find the recording, full products on Avini Health Training. Sometimes those numbers move, but it's on Rick's recording from the corporate call on Tuesday night. It was line 113, and part 2 is on line 114. Just want to wish you all a wonderful night. Thank you for being here. We'll look forward to seeing you next week, and always go out and share Avini and take care of the people you love. Okay. God bless each and every one of you. Good night now.
Good night,
Thank you. Good night.
everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Carol.
Good night.
Bye.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Carol.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.